Welcome to this special edition of the podcast of the Basketball Show. I'm your host, Paul Sir. We're going to focus on the Edmonton Stingers as they wrap their regular season up. Head coach and GM Jordan Baker joined me, as well as Edmonton-born player Ben Krikke, as we talk about the final game of the year against Winnipeg and what's in store and what are the possible options for the upcoming playoffs. I hope you enjoy this CEBL Edmonton Stinger conversation. Welcome back to the Basketball Show. All the music today is from the 80s. That's one of the great 80s songs. Aha's Take On Me. We're going to talk now about the Edmonton Stingers and the CEBL as they prepare for the final game of the season, which will be Monday night, 7 p.m., over at Hall D in the Expo Center. There are very few, if any, tickets left. I would encourage you, if you want to get to this game, get your tickets right away. Go to the CEBL or the Edmonton Stinger website. Purchase your tickets. It's going to be a packed house. It's an important game because it will be the Stingers who may, in fairness, because of results over this weekend, they may be in a position to host a home playoff game. But it is, as of right now, it is not assured by any means. So this is playing against an improved and surging Winnipeg Sea Bear team with Wright Foreman, who is one of the premier players in the league, one of the great scorers in the CEBL this year. It's going to be a fantastic game. The Stingers are going to be well rested after a grueling 8 games and 11-day schedule. They've had 11 days off now. And so, and I think I got it wrong actually on the 8 games and 11 days, but it was 8 games in not many days. And so what we're going to do now is we're going to have conversations that I had yesterday with Jordan Baker, head coach, GM, followed by Ben Krikke, Edmonton's own Ben Krikke, who has been such a significant contributor in his first pro league experience here on the Basketball Show. So first, let's go to my conversation with head coach, GM, Jordan Baker.
I'd like to welcome in the GM and head coach of the Edmonton Stingers as they prepare for their final regular season game at home on Monday. Jordan Baker joins me right now. Jordan, how are you?
I'm great. How are you?
Great. We were just talking before we went on to be recorded that this has been unusual. You and the Stingers have had a real wicked schedule in July where you played a lot of games in a very few days. And now you've had 11 days off. What's it been like getting the team ready, and how's the team responded?
Yeah, we took a few days where we didn't have anything planned or anything scheduled or organized, and some guys were able to, see some friends and family and get to the mountains and do some of those things that you want to do over the course of your summer. So that was great to be able to recharge both mentally and physically for the players. And now, we've had a handful of practices since then as we gear up for Winnipeg in that last regular season game. But it's great to be able to go full speed and work on, some things that we wanted to tinker with, but just haven't had the practice time.
So you've been tinkering, as you say. You've had an opportunity to watch Winnipeg in its last couple of games. You get another look at them when they go to Calgary. Tell us what's at stake in this last game.
Yeah, so with the way that things are shaking out in the West here, it looks like if we, take care of business Monday, that means we would get a bye through to the second round of the playoffs, and that means we host a playoff game that, if we win that, we head off to Montreal and get to championship weekend, which is always the goal. So we're very much still locked in and wanting to secure that second seed in the West, and a win on Monday does that for us.
What do you find that's most challenging about Winnipeg? They're 9-10. They had a very spirited comeback victory over Calgary the other night that I'm sure really stung, no pun intended, for Calgary because everything was riding on that game for Calgary to have a shot at that second spot. So what is it about this Winnipeg team that you feel the Stingers have to do the most to prepare the most effectively?
Yeah, I mean, they've got a guy in Justin Wright Foreman that's really dynamic with the ball in his hands, and he puts a lot of pressure on your defense. And he can score a variety of different ways. And then, they've started to get some bigger contributions from some of their players off the bench, and they play a little bit of a different style when, for example, Wright Foreman's not on the floor. So you can't prepare one way and say, hey, this is how we're going to play for 40 minutes. You got to really be tuned into what their personnel on the floor is like and how you want to try to defend certain things when there's certain guys in the action. So for us, we're trying to, we're lucky that we've played them twice already. We know them a little bit. So for us to be able to be locked in mentally and being able to make adjustments on the fly is going to be important for us.
I'm talking to Jordan Baker, the head coach and GM of the Edmonton Stingers in the CEBL, on the Basketball Show on Sports 1440. All right, Jordan, 19 games into it. Does it feel like, wow, that was a fast 19? Or do you really feel like you have a sense and appreciation for how the season has unfolded time-wise?
Yeah, I think because our schedule is so compact, at certain times in the year, it does feel like it's been a little bit of a longer season. But then, you realize that, guys, we've only been together for, a couple of months. And when you compare that to what I've done over the last 3 years, which has been the head coach at Nate, where you have guys in the building for 8 months at a time and you are able to work on things and see the growth and see the development. It does put into perspective of how short of a season it is. And, hopefully we've got our best basketball ahead of us here.
So Monday night, you square off with the Winnipeg Sea Bears. Is that a 7:00 start time, Jordan? Do you know offhand?
I believe so. I can double check very quickly here. I know I looked at the seating chart, the seat map, just recently this afternoon, and there's not a whole lot of tickets left. So if people are interested, they better buy them up quick. And it is a 7 p.m. tip on Monday. Yep.
Okay, so 7 p.m. on Monday. If the Stingers take care of business, finish second, there will be another game, I believe, on August 4th at home. So certainly everybody will be very excited and pulling for the Stingers. And I'm sure we're going to have people hanging from the rafters on Monday night for the final home game. Jordan, best of luck in the final days of preparation and best of luck on Monday night.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Jordan Baker, head coach, GM of the Edmonton Stingers, with me on the Basketball Show.
Jordan, I think, did a great job of laying out what's significant about Monday and who their opponent is and what's at stake. And as I said in my opening remarks in this segment, make sure if you are interested that you go to the Edmonton Stinger website and get your tickets, because it's going to be a full sellout and a great atmosphere. And let's make sure we give the Stingers all the support we can to take this victory away from Winnipeg. I next spoke with Edmontonian Ben Krikke, well known to Edmonton basketball fans, and Ben and I had a conversation yesterday as well.
I'd like to welcome back to the Basketball Show Ben Krikke. Ben from Edmonton, as anybody who's listened to the Basketball Show would know. Anybody that's familiar actually with basketball in Edmonton knows who Ben Krikke is. And Ben completed an outstanding career at Valparaiso University and his final year at the University of Iowa. And now he has been playing in Edmonton, in his hometown, for the Edmonton Stingers. And Ben, welcome back to our program.
Thanks for having me again, Paul. It's always great.
So, Ben, you're 19 games out of 20 into the season. You just came off a grueling stretch, and now you've had a bit of time to sit back and relax and had some time off, as Coach Baker shared with us in an earlier interview. There's still a lot of basketball to be played with playoffs just around the corner. But after 19 games, jumping from the college basketball experience into the pro experience in your hometown, any parts of this first pro experience that you've had that jump to mind?
Yeah, I think first and foremost would be what you just alluded to, the schedule. We had 6
if you
games.
can call it that.
Right. Yeah. 6 games in 11 days or whatever it was. And then we just kind of had this weird week or so without games. Now we've still got in for some practice time and whatever. But Yeah, it's a lot less predictable than the college season, I'll tell you that. I think at Valpo, our games were typically Thursday, Saturday, or Wednesday, Saturday, but very predictable. And then last year at Iowa, I mean, the Big Ten schedule was a little bit different, but you knew it was going to be two games per week and a pretty reliable preparation schedule. But yeah, this last month or so was pretty hectic. Traveling to games and whatever, and just one after another.
Well, and I think, Ben, that's atypical for most pro leagues. I think the fact that, number one, the CEBL's a young league relative to other pro leagues around the world. But number two, the fact that it's in the summer, there are conflicting events, as you're well aware of, over at the Expo Center where the team plays, et cetera. So you've had, but the bottom line is you and your teammates have had to endure this schedule. What's it been like physically and mentally to go through a grueling tour like that?
Yeah, I'd definitely be lying if I said it was easy. I mean, it's a challenge, and I think it's one that the team embraced, and we got through that stretch well. I thought, we dropped a couple that maybe we shouldn't have, and that can be a little frustrating. But I think guys stayed level-headed and continued to show up each and every day, ready to work and put our best foot forward. So. I feel like any place, any team that you're a part of, you're always going to run into some challenges, and that was just a little bump in the road, but we're back and ready to go.
Talking with Ben Krikke here on the Basketball Show on Sports 1440. Ben, of course, great Edmonton basketball player in high school, outstanding Division I career down in the States, now playing with the Edmonton Stingers. You have the Sea Bears coming up from Winnipeg. They had a very important win for them, and actually an important win for the Stingers as well the other night as they came back and defeated Calgary, who's been nipping at the heels of the Stingers a bit. Mm-hmm. It gives you a little bit of breathing room, but to really control your destiny, Ben, you have to beat Winnipeg on Monday, don't you?
Absolutely. I mean, you never really want to get into a point where other games determine your fate. You kind of want to take care of business yourself. So that's kind of the mindset going in. And obviously you try to protect our home floor and go win a game.
So Ben, playing in front of the home crowd, family and friends, obviously hometown hero, that sort of thing. What do you think that you're going to be able to take from this experience as you journey off into the next level of your pro career? And I don't know if you're ready to announce what that might or might not be, but what lessons do you think this has helped you with as you prepare for the professional part of your career?
Yeah, no, I think it's been a great opportunity for me to get my feet wet in the pro game and do it with the support of my family. They've used it as a way to invite a lot of family and friends out to games. So we've definitely been making use of the tickets. But no, it's just really been special and to have a support system that, helped my basketball journey get started and, throughout junior high and high school. And then they didn't get to see much live in college, but they were supporting me from afar. But I think just the importance of relationships and building community, I think, will be something that I take to the next level.
So, Ben, let's talk about the future for you. You're going to be heading off and continuing your pro career, most likely overseas. Mm-hmm. And what do you hope to gain from this experience?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, I'm still trying my hardest to play at the highest level possible that I can, and in Europe there's many different leagues and countries and domestic leagues and international leagues. So I'm going to just continue to work to play to the best of my ability and hopefully one day be able to compete in the EuroLeague and hopefully beyond. Here's hoping, and I'll continue to push and work on my game so that can become a reality.
I'll tell you what, Ben, it's exciting to hear you talk about these next steps that you're going to be taking, because it really, a career like yours unfolds in layers, from high school to university to another university and another league, now to the professional level, and now to an international pro career. I think it's really exciting to hear, Ben. You've worked extremely hard. You're always very, very gracious about thanking those that supported you, particularly your family and all the good people around. And it's really been fun watching you play in a Stingers uniform this summer, and can't wait for what the next for what your team is able to do in the playoffs. Let's not get ahead of ourselves, and whatever happens next for you. Ben Krikke, Edmonton Stinger, thanks so much for joining me on the basketball show today.
Thanks, Paul. Thanks. Always fun chatting basketball with you.
Always look forward to it, Ben.